Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. The Omega Constellation launched in 1952, but the Connie as we know it today, with the griffin claw flanks, the Manhattan case design as it's known, that started in 1982. The next revision came in 1995 and then again in 2009 before the 2020 model that you see here. And this Constellation 39 is effectively the mid-size model in the new series. So in stainless steel, it is 39 millimeters in diameter, 12.6 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, and we are including these little outboard links, it's 46 millimeters across the wrist. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see the 39 is a good match, being sort of a hybrid of a tonneau and a cushion case. It wears a little bit larger than 39 millimeters would imply in a round watch, but the timepiece is reasonably thin, and with a sloped flank, it should slide easily underneath a dress cuff. I consider it to be a unisex option. You could probably wear it on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. Taking a look at the strap. It's integrated with the case, and quite well. All of a piece, it is hinged. There is a little bit of fight and flare. You can't pull it straight down. It does arc out a little bit at the edge, so keep that in mind. It's a very thick piece of vulcanized rubber with anthracite, or one might even call it elephant gray, large rectangular scale alligator leather on the top with a monotone stitch. We have a deployant clasp here in a combination of polish and satin, and then we have twin trigger release, so it can't open up accidentally. We have a system whereby there are gussets inside the strap to prevent gouging, and then the strap tucks in under the clasp, so you size it up, and there's no new strap minders out here. Absolutely none of that. I'll show you strap minders. These are strap minders for excess length, and they tend to age faster than the rest of the strap here because everything's underneath the strap. You don't need those, so it's a much cleaner look when it's on the wrist. Taking a quick look at the case, there have been some changes since 1982. The brackets, or griffin claws, the griffes as they're known en français, they are there, but they don't dominate. They're handsome, and they provide a little bit of a contrast to the majority satin finish of the case and the bezel. You can see the bevels of the case are polished, the griffin claws are polished, the bezel set somewhat in from the case band to break up the apparent mass. We have a unique crown here with a slightly conical form, media blasted and polished outboard, nice attention to detail. We have these little polished intermediate links at the end, and then there's some faceting at each side, upper and lower of the case to give it a bit more visual strength, some harder angles, along with the more bosomy, soft, curvaceous elements. The dial is matte black with applique faceted indices. You can see that they're remarkably nuanced in their faceting. As you can see, there's a little bit of a Coke bottle swell to them as they move down away from the center of the dial. They're not simple trapezoidal patterns. There is a little bit of a curvature on the top of each faceting. And then we have satination on the top, polish on the sides. The hands at center are said to have been inspired by the profile of the Freedom Tower in downtown Manhattan, part of the connection to the original Manhattan nickname of this style, though frankly they look like alpha hands to me. Nevertheless, they are attractive. We have applique Constellation star to remind you that the original was an observatory chronometer, and applied Omega logo with a vintage Constellation style script. Taking a quick look at some of the subsidiary setting modes, you can see the watch features hacking seconds, and then it also features a quick set date, which is easier to operate with your non-gloved hand. Turn it all over, we have caliber 8800. Automatic winding on ceramic rotor bearings. It's a bidirectional winder with a 55-hour power reserve. It is effectively amagnetic with a magnetically resistant escapement and balance, and then a silicone hairspring. It's braced against shock with a winding rotor bearing rather than a jeweled staff, and we also have a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance for shock tolerance. All of this pivots on 35 joules. It has a single mainspring barrel. It is a master chronometer, which entails 6-position testing of the fully cased-up watch for shock resistance, water resistance, anti-magnetism, winding efficiency, power reserve, and chronometry. It is the complete test of the finished watch. That is what a master chronometer is. It is also a tri-level coaxial escapement, and that means that the escapement is both direct and indirect impulse, and it's all tangential contact as created by George Daniels. It's a very low friction escapement that extends power reserve and improves precision. The watch does include some luminescence on the hands, and it's 50 meters water resistant. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.